Friends, how many times has it happened that you witnessed something wrong, ignored it to avoid trouble, and returned to your daily tasks? We've all probably done this at some point in our lives. But what if that wrong behavior was happening to you, and others ignored it just as you did? What would you do if someone threatened you, saying that you'd suffer consequences if you told the truth? Would you still speak up? Would you still fight for your rights and the truth? Friends, speaking the truth often requires a lot of courage, and gathering this courage to stand against wrongdoings can be very challenging. How many people, do you think, would have the courage to speak the truth in such a situation? Today, through this Buddhist story, we will learn how important it is to speak the truth and stand up against wrongs, no matter how difficult the circumstances. We will see how the young man in our story mustered courage and stood by the truth. So, without further delay, let's begin. Once upon a time, there lived a young man in a town. He was very good-natured, very straightforward, and simple-minded. He never engaged in fights or arguments and never said anything bad about anyone. He also helped people. Despite this, some people would still speak ill of him, but he would just smile and walk away. The merchant he worked for paid him very little, but the young man never opposed his employer. Instead, he followed all his orders with a smile and worked diligently. Because of his goodness, everyone he met tried to suppress and scare him. People would even call him crazy due to his simple nature and said he would never achieve anything in life. He was poor, but never complained to anyone. He worked and saved money to escape his poverty, but whenever he tried to climb out of it, someone would come and take away his savings. Sometimes it was relatives, sometimes it was acquaintances who would come with their sob stories and take his hard-earned money, and he couldn't do anything about it. He consoled himself, thinking that he was a good man and that good people never oppress anyone. They don't resist. They are happy within themselves and help others. He used these thoughts to pacify himself. One day, he saw that a friend of his, who was a thief, had become very wealthy and a dishonest person, wealthy, and had numerous luxuries and respect in society. His friend did not donate, help people, or do any good. Instead, he oppressed others, looted their money, and shouted at them. Despite this, society preferred him. The young man wondered why, despite being a good person, he was not liked and was considered crazy, while his life was full of sorrows. He thought maybe he should adopt the path of evil. One day, while working at his employer's house, he accidentally broke a valuable item. His employer scolded him harshly, beat him, and declared that he would have to work for a year without pay to compensate for the loss. The young man cried and pleaded, but his employer did not listen. He left for home, crying. On the way, he encountered a Buddhist monk who heard him crying and came to his aid. The monk applied some herbal paste on his wounds, giving him some relief. The young man then asked the monk a question. Why do good people suffer? I am a simple good man who has never done wrong to anyone. I even help those who ask for it. Yet, I have never experienced any good in my life and always live in sorrow. Meanwhile, many bad people live happy lives, looting others and oppressing them, but society respects them. Why is this so? Should we also adopt the path of evil? The monk listened carefully and replied, Son, those who do evil deeds will eventually face the consequences of their actions, and it will be bad. Similarly, those who do good deeds will also be rewarded, and it will be good. The young man interrupted, Guru, is what you're saying true? Can I trust you? Because in this world, I see everything upside down. Good people suffer, and bad people thrive. The monk replied, What I say is the truth, and you will understand it better in time. With that, the monk left. The young man sat there for a while, contemplating the monk's words. He thought, I may not have wealth, money, or respect, but I am a good person, and I will eventually be rewarded for my goodness. With this thought, he returned home. A few days later, while traveling through the forest to his employer's house, he was surrounded by the king's soldiers. They covered his face with a black cloth, tied his hands, and began dragging him away. The young man screamed. The soldiers, tempted by the promise of wealth, agreed. They removed the cloth from his eyes, and he led them to a cave he knew well. Inside, he tricked them into getting lost in the cave's labyrinthine passages and escaped. The young man ran through the forest, terrified that the soldiers might find him. He came across the Buddhist monk again and told him everything that had happened, questioning why good people suffered and bad people thrived. The monk smiled and said, "Son, your actions have consequences. Not standing up for your rights, not opposing wrongdoings. These are also bad deeds. Watching evil and doing nothing is a sin. You must stand up for truth and justice." The young man, realizing his mistakes, asked the monk, "What should I do now?" The monk advised him to seek justice from the king. Despite his fear, the young man went to the royal court the next morning. He told the king about the injustice he had suffered and how the soldiers had taken bribes and let the thief go. The king was shocked and ordered an investigation. It was confirmed that the young man was telling the truth. The king punished the soldiers and declared the young man as the new chief minister, recognizing his courage and honesty. The young man's story spread throughout the kingdom, and he became known for his bravery and integrity. He always said, "Good deeds always bring good results. We must face evil without fear." Friends, I hope this story has helped you understand what it means to be a good person and how important it is to stand up for the truth. If you consider yourself good and feel that you are being wronged, understand the cause of that suffering and fight for your rights. Do not see yourself as weak or helpless. Strengthen yourself from within. Harden your mind so you can face those who try to take advantage of you, because enduring evil is also a sin. Friends, if you learned something from today's video, please share it with someone who needs to hear this story and subscribe to the channel. We will meet again with a new message in the next video. Take care. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey of embracing simplicity and finding the true essence of life. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more thought-provoking content, and please share to one person you love the most. And last, I just want you to say, climb higher, aim higher, with a rise aspire.